Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be making this two-piece skirt and blouse, but this video is going to be for the blouse, so I'm going to have a video for the skirt later. Please make sure to like, share, comment and subscribe. So starting off for my paper, I have this line here. So and that is going to be my starting point. So on that line, I marked 3.5 inches for my neck depth, and then after that um I'm going to measure from the mid nape of my neck to my desired sleeve, or you can simply divide your back shoulder measurement by 2 and add your desired sleeve length to it. And after doing that, I have 14 inches. So coming down, I'm going to mark 1 inch under the 14 inches, and then I'm going to connect it to the 3.5 inches that I marked earlier for my neck width. So here now is my shoulder, and that is a slope on my shoulder. So moving on, I'm taking my shoulder to my bust point, and note that I'm placing my tape on the starting point and not on the slant that I have. And after taking that, I'm going to also take my shoulder to my waist measurement. Then I'm also going to take my shoulder to my desired blouse length, and that is 25 inches. I took 25 inches. So I'll just go ahead and extend the point so I can draw a straight line to connect them all. So I changed my mind on my desired blouse length. So I'm going to take 24 inches instead of the initial 25 inches that I marked. So I'm just taking 24 inches here. And then the extra 1 inch that I have is going to be my hemming allowance. So since I have 14 inches here, I'll just take the 14 inches down to my bust point line. So I'm just taking 14 inches so I can have a straight line to mark my armhole measurements. So from here, I'm taking my round arm measurements divided by 2 plus half inch, and that is what I have marked here. So now I'm just going to draw a straight line to connect the points. So coming down to my bust point line, I'm going to mark my round bust divided by 4, and then I'm going to add 1 inch to it. So I'll mark my round bust divided by 4, and then the 1 inch extra that I'm going to add to it is half inch is going to be for ease, and the other half inch is going to be for um my sewing allowance. So here I have my 1 inch extra. So on my waistline, I'm not going to have any measurement there. Then coming down to my blouse length, I'm going to mark my round hip measurement divided by 4, and then I'm also going to add my extra 1 inch allowance on it. That is half inch for sewing allowance and half inch for ease. So I'll just use my curve ruler to connect my armhole to my bust point. You can totally do this without a curve ruler. And then after that, I'm going to connect the points from my bust point line to my blouse length. And this is the shape that I have here. So for my neckline, I'm going to go down by 1 inch, and this is going to be for my back neck depth. And then I'm going to use my curve ruler to create a curve there. You can also do this you can do this without a curve ruler. And then after that, after taking that, I'm going to go down and take 5.5 inches, and this is going to serve as my front neckline. And I want my front neckline to be a V line, to be a V line shape. So I'll just use my ruler and draw a straight line, and then we have like a semi V here. So here is my back neckline, and here is my front neckline. So I am done with this, and next thing I'm going to do is just to cut this out. But before then, I'll just extend this line to my hemming allowance. So one thing I forgot to do is I forgot to add half inch on my shoulder line, that is on the slope. I forgot to add half an inch for joining both the front and back piece. So make sure you add it on your paper here. So I'm cutting for my my back piece first, and that is why I'm going to cut my back neckline first. So I've placed it, and this is the half inch I'm talking about. So I added it on my fabric, and then I've this fabric is folded into two, and this side here is folded. So make sure that the center back is folded, so you don't cut it into two. And when opened, we have this one piece for my back piece. So it's time to go cut for the front piece, and before I do that, I'm going to cut the front neckline and then place it on my fabric, and also add my half inch for shoulder, my half inch on my shoulder for joining. And here I have my front piece as well. Now the center front is folded as well, and this is my half inch. So I'll go ahead and take off my pins and show you what my front piece is looking like. So this is my front piece here, and now it's time to join both the front and the back piece. So I'll take my back piece and place it on my front piece, right side facing right side. Now this is the right side here, and the right side of my back piece is facing the right side of my front piece. So I'll go ahead and join the my right side and back, my front and back bodies. I'm going to join the shoulders by the half an inch that I added earlier. So this is it. I've gone ahead to join it, and it's time to sew bias on my neckline. So I'll just measure around my neckline from the back piece to the front piece. I'll measure it all round and cut a bias from my fabric. I'm going to cut a bias on there, and once you measure it all around, what you get, please add like 1 or 2 inches extra, so you are not short of fabric. So this is the bias I have here, and the width of this bias is 1 inch. So I'll just go ahead and place it on my fabric and sew it all round, and then when you have excess, you can just easily cut off the excess you have. And after sewing it all around, this is what I have here. So I will just go ahead and make a little notch all round, so when I fold it, it folds easily. So I'm just creating a notch here, and I'm going to do this all around the neckline. And once I'm done doing that, I'm going to fold the remaining bias into two and sew it all around as well. And now this is what I have here on my neckline. So my neckline is ready to go. So it's time to sew the side. So I'll just go to my sewing machine and sew this side by half an inch, and sew this side by half an inch as well. And after doing that, I will come down to the hem of my blouse, and I'm going to hem it. I'm going to fold in half an inch and fold in another half an inch and just sew it all around. And I'll do that after I must have joined the front and back piece. And now I have done all of that, and this is what I have here. So I'll just go ahead and turn it to the right side. So this is the right side of the blouse, and now it's time to cut the sleeve of this blouse. So I'll just go ahead and measure what I have here. I'll just use my tape and measure it all around, and when I measured it, I had 15 inches. So here I have my fabric for the sleeve of my blouse, and the length of this sleeve is going to be 20 inches, that is sewing allowance included. And the width, I have 16.5 inches. Remember I said that my round sleeve, when I measured it, I had 15 inches on my fabric, but I have 1.5 inches extra. So after I must have joined it, any remaining inch I have, I'm just going to plait it to create more puff. So I'll just use my iron and iron this sticker to get rid of it. And then I'll go ahead and hem the bottom of my sleeve. I'll just fold in half an inch and fold in another half an inch and sew along it. And I'm gonna do that for the both sleeves. Now I have done that, and I want to create a line for where I'm going to join my elastic. So I'll just place my tape from the end of my sleeve, and then I marked 6 inches. You can mark how many inches you want, but I marked 6 inches and drew a straight line. Now I cut out um an elastic of 6 inches, and then I'm going to place it on this line that I have here, and draw it all the way to the end. And then I'll just sew along it, and then I'll also do the same to the other sleeve. Now after once I've done that, I'll fold it right side facing right side and stitch it by half inch. Now this is what I have after doing that. So I'll just turn it over to the right side. Remember, the elastic should be joined on the wrong side and not on the right side. So this is the right side of my sleeve, and I'll just go ahead and join it to my main bodice. I'll just pin it all around, and then I'll place any remaining piece that I have at the top. So after pinning it all around, this is what I have here. So I'll just go ahead and join it all around by half an inch. And this is it. I have gone ahead to do the same thing to the other sleeve, and this is what the blouse is looking like. So yeah, thank you so much for staying tuned and seeing this video to the end. Please make sure to subscribe and turn on your post notification for when I upload the skirt version of this two piece. Also like and share. Thank you.